Today, President Trump and his Ukrainian counterpart will meet face-to-face in New York City on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly.
A past conversation between the two leaders has led to a formal impeachment inquiry against President Trump. Laura Podesta picks up the story.
No one is above the law.
House Democrats are moving forward with a formal impeachment inquiry into President Trump,
Calling upon a foreign power to intervene in his election. This is a breach of his constitutional responsibilities.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi made the decision after a recent surge in support from moderate Democrats.
I have only one thing to say: full speed ahead.
It came following a whistleblower complaint and an apparent admission from President Trump that he pressured Ukraine's president to investigate a political rival.
But there was pressure put on with respect to Joe Biden. What Joe Biden did for his son, that's something they should be looking at.
CBS News has learned the president ordered the State Department and Pentagon to withhold hundreds of millions of dollars in military aid days ahead of the July 25th phone call. The White House denies it had any quid pro quo agreement with Ukraine.
But a president who believes he's above the law, pursuing the leader of another nation to investigate a political opponent to help win his election is not the conduct of an American president.
Republicans are so far sticking with the president.
They want to continue this witch hunt of trying to impeach the president because they don't agree with the results of the 2016 election.
The Trump administration is expected to release a transcript of the phone call today.
It was a perfect call.
The House and Senate Intelligence Committees are both trying to set up interviews with the whistleblower. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Pennsylvania Congresswoman Madeleine Dean, who also sits on the House Judiciary Committee, released this statement saying the president has betrayed his oath of office. Our speaker, our leadership, and our caucus are united in our impeachment inquiry against the grievous wrongdoing of a president who puts himself and his personal political gain over national security and the rule of law. We've also received a statement from Pennsylvania Senator Pat Toomey. He wrote, as I have said repeatedly, a candidate for federal office seeking the assistance of a foreign government would be inappropriate. Tomorrow will shed more light on what transpired as President Trump has decided to release an unredacted transcript of his call with the Ukrainian president. And as the story continues to develop, stay with Eyewitness News for the latest on the impeachment inquiry. When we're not on TV, you can follow the developments on our website, cbsphilly.com.